Now we're bringing you that warm and fuzzy feeling that you get when mom wraps you into her loving embrace. Welcome to today's Afternoon Express cook-along, and let's open up our Mother's Day menu. Now we're getting a sweet deal as we're joined in studio by cake designer and baker Anmar Wilding, who will show us how to make a dough that can create 3 different flavors of cookies, how to make a frosting for these cookies and decorate them. And then she'll also be demonstrating the perfect banana bran muffin recipe. Chef Dumi and I will also be receiving a super special video call. My name is Balisa Dembe, and come along this journey and let's open up our Mother's Day. How sweet will it be, Dumi?
Balisa, it's going to be extremely, well, not extremely sweet. We're not trying to be too sweet, but it's going to be sweet enough to put a smile on every single mother's face. Mother figure, mother in the spirit, all the mothers that we can think of, these are the cookies just for them.
Yeah, I'm here for it. So we had to call on the big guns. I mean, we can get all the details on our Afternoon Express website, afternoonexpress.co.za, because Chef Anmar, not everyone can have you in the loft. So you're going to help us through this, girl. I'm not much of a baker.
Not everybody is, but I always say baking is actually super easy. If you follow a recipe and you measure correctly, nothing can go wrong. It's not like making a stew where you can just throw in, but baking, especially this recipe, is super easy. I use this for all the cookies I do, wedding gifts. People have little cookies for wedding gifts these days, anything. Christmas cookies for the tree, it works for everything. And it's super easy. You don't have to rest the dough, nothing. Okay. So I've got it a bit easier because I've got my trusty mixer. You guys are going to use the big guns and mix your cookies in the bowl with the butter. We start off by adding the butter and the sugar together.
Okay, so today we're using our trusty Mama Bake for this recipe because it's ideal for any type of baking recipe. I think that's one of the few reasons why we've chosen to use it today, because it gives you a nice soft texture in your cookies, whatever cookies you're making, and it actually works perfectly with whatever recipe you'd like to make.
Yeah, it's very easy to use. It gives a great flavor to baking, and as you can see, it's quite soft, so especially for you guys doing this by hand, if the butter or the Mama Bake was harder, it would be much more difficult to incorporate.
Okay, and that's the reason why we left it out at room temperature. We didn't have it in the fridge because you need to be able to work with it.
Butter, same as with eggs. If we use eggs, it's always better at room temperature because things, if it's cold, it tends to split easier. Okay. So I'm just going to add my butter.
So what's the ideal texture we're looking for with this mixture with the eggs?
Very well incorporated. You almost want the sugar to start dissolving.
Oh, okay. So Balisa, it means we need to be getting on a bit of a workout over here.
Definitely. I mean, girl, you can already see the concentration and the focus on my face, because I want to get this right, because Anmar, you've promised us one dough that can create 3 different flavors of cookies. Exactly. Now, girl, what are the different flavors that we're going to be making today?
What's great about this dough is it's very durable, so you can add pretty much anything to it as long as it's not too much liquid. Okay. So I'm going to do a lemon zest and poppy seed dough, which is great. Butter going everywhere
already. As soon as you say poppy seed, everything starts popping in the kitchen. Okay.
Yeah, so that's great. I find lemon and poppy seed is a flavor that always pops up on Mother's Day. Imagine a lemon and poppy seed cake with lemon curd. So to incorporate that into a cookie is amazing. We've got a sprinkle, like a rainbow sprinkle cookie, which Tumi is doing, which we're going to add some really cool little sprinkles because they don't dissolve in the dough, so they actually look really pretty. And then you are going to do a cinnamon cookie, which you can never go wrong. Everybody loves a cinnamon cookie.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
And Basha, don't you think these flavors are just reminiscent of who we are? I'm very colorful and full of
look at me.
And Balisa is a little on the spicy side every now and then. I feel it every
I'm
now and then.
a little spicy. So I love the fact here that you are just taking your expertise to that next level. When I were to just go back to how you started in baking and decorating your cupcakes, how did it all start?
So I think for me, I grew up in a kind of a hotel environment. My parents were hotel managers, so we lived on the premises of the hotel. So my greatest thing was coming back from school, getting off the school bus in 40-degree heat in Nelspruit, and I just beeline straight from storeroom to the kitchen. And I asked the chef, his name was Almond, shame bless him. I don't think he actually knew how to bake, but he was like my hero. And we would spend every afternoon baking a hideous, now I know it was a hideous chocolate cake. It was good, but I thought it was just amazing. And my grandmother is a very good baker, so we grew up in the kitchen with her, and I think that has an influence. And I think that just led to me. It was never a question. I was always going to be a chef. I never went, I was going to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. It was a natural progression for me. And I thought I was going to be a savory chef, a normal chef, but no matter where I worked, I always ended up in the baking pastry section, so it's just part of me, and it's a creative thing. So now we're going to add...
She was flexing on me a little earlier. She was telling me how pastry chefs can do savory stuff, but a lot of times the savory chefs can't do the pastry stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I think so.
So as you are just whipping everything in together and you are putting in the different elements, what else can I add?
So,
Already my sugars
Next,
dissolved.
we're adding a pinch of salt. You've got a little bowl of salt, your vanilla essence. So with these cookies, you can also be a bit creative. There's some amazing essences like orange flower water, rose water, and some specialty baking shops actually sell things like crazy bubblegum flavors. You know, you can go over the top with what you want to that. And then as well, just one egg.
Okay. Oh, just one egg.
Yeah. Okay. And then you just give that a good stir to incorporate. Okay. Pop that there. Just going to turn this down. Sometimes when you use a mixer and you're using Mama Bake or any type of a spread, it can get stuck on the insides of the bowl. So you just need to give it a quick stir just to loosen it up.
Perfect.
And then as soon as you see your egg is kind of mixed in,
Yeah.
I know it's not the most easiest, but I always tell myself before these mixers existed, this is what our grandmothers would do.
Yeah.
They were using their hands, and that's what it's all about this week as we are building up to Mother's Day. We're looking at those different recipes, that relationship that, you know, somewhat get hands down from grandmother to mother to daughter to the baby,
Exactly.
and that's what we're here for.
Imagine. So then once this looks perfect to me, we can add our flour, which is the bigger bowl of flour.
Okay.
Some stuff. And all of it at once?
Yeah, all of it at once.
Okay.
Easy. I'm going to add 1 lemon's worth of zest. You
So
can
can add
add your
flavors now.
sprinkles
Okay.
as much as you want. You can go crazy.
And then I can
And
add
then
my
Palisa,
cinnamon.
yes.
Okay.
Good big pinch of cinnamon.
So this is essentially that flavoring time, the time that you now
Exactly.
can differentiate what you want out of your
Exactly.
cookies. I want something delicious. I want something cinnamony. Dumi wants something colorful. And of course, you're going for the lemon poppy. And we just continue to mix this in.
Yes.
So just to speed ahead, Dumi, when putting this all together, baking powder as well.
Yes, and your
How then do
baking
we end
powder?
off this recipe?
So this all will start coming together now in a smooth dough. So you're just going to mix it until it comes together. It should, because the Mama Bake is really nice and soft and workable. It will come together quite quickly. Mine's going to be first because I've got professional help.
All right, so
Very
maybe you want to
spoiled.
show us once it's done how to
Yes.
roll it out, because it looks like, Palisa, you and I will be doing this until the end of the show.
Honey, listen, they do say it is a labor of love. So I'm going to take my time here. I'm going to make sure that this is ready by the end of the show. But whilst you do that, let's have a look at this.
Great. So my dough has come together really nicely with the help of my trusty assistant here. Just going to pop this behind myself. And then, see, out comes a really smooth and workable ball of dough.
Perfect. Keep that right there. Hold
Right.
that thought. We're going to be cooking coming up just now.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Love that. Whilst we are working our arms here in the kitchen, on social media, we have not forgotten about you. Now, did you get it from your mama? Post a pic of you and your mother. We would love to see it. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments. Now, we all know that the best part is the icing on top. So we'll be making our very own icing to decorate our Mother's Day cookies when we come back.